Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. I am James and you're watching Blue Dog Aquatics. Now, it's been about a year since we built this paludarium. I wanted to do an update on how the paludarium is doing, how it's growing in, any issues we've had or anything like that. So, starting out, the aquatic side is doing very, very well. We still have our Florida gar in here. I don't know exactly where he's at, but you can tell in the bottom here, and I do apologize about the glare from the windows. Maybe we can turn these blinds up so we don't get a glare. And a little bit better. We still get the glare from the pond, but you can see in here the root structure has grown so much from the top plants. We did, as always, we lost some of the rocks. They fell off of the pillars, but it's actually been kind of nice. It gives it that realistic look, like if you were to look under a dock, how it would look, just rocks just all over the place. You can see some of the roots have gone quite far down. We do have some sword plants in here that are doing very, very well. We did just trim this tank back about a day or two ago. It was the first time in about a year that I had touched it. I wanted it to thrive and grow and all that, and I'll tell you what, it really, really needed it. But yeah, let's jump into this. There is currently no reptile in here. We did house a water dragon in here for a while, but he found a new home. But yeah, I just cut back these. You can see the trim markings. And actually, so this is actually a purple waffle plant. It was actually only supposed to be in here temporarily, but you can see how the root structure has actually grown into the piece of driftwood that's here. We did cut back a lot so that we could actually see the waterfall again. We haven't had any plumbing issues at all, which I'm very thankful for. We are constantly trimming plants back because otherwise they block the misting heads and then nothing else gets watered. We did house, currently these are temporarily in here. We have a bunch of bromeliads, and that's just because we're going to be redoing a lot of enclosures here soon, and so we'll be putting the bromeliads in there. The moss is growing very well. We did lose some of the moss up here and up there, and it's because it dried out. The plants grew in so thick that we couldn't even see if I can get this door open. The humidity is really high in here. We also did throw in some new plants. The Gravia, those names right there. Man, I cannot even pronounce that. And then we have jeweled orchids as well. These ones we are selling, but because they need such high humidity, we decided to put them in here in the paludarium. Our ivy plants and our creeping ficus has been just going nuts. We've actually had to cut it back a couple of times because it tries going up through the lighting or up through the screen. This plant back here, I can't remember the name of it, but I actually had to cut it way back. It was about 6 foot. Like, it came down, it went down, around, over and up. We actually moved that over in with one of our reptiles, so hopefully it keeps growing. Part of it's starting to die, so I don't know how well it's going to do. Again, you can see that we cut back some of this. But yeah, they are just doing outstanding. The cork in here is holding up really well, as well as the driftwood. The springtail cultures, they are loving the drip wall. And like, even we've lost some moss down here, but a lot of it is still growing very, very well. Again, we lost some of it over here just because the plants got so big that it kind of blocked out everything. But overall, it's been absolutely outstanding. We did change out the lights. So this was a 4-foot UVB. We did change it out with smaller grow lights, and it definitely had the effect. I can't even tell you how much these plants have grown. But with having the gar in here, I've been actually thinking about moving the gar out of here and doing like a community, just like a bunch of schooling fish swimming underneath. For a while there, we were thinking about doing cave fish, but they're kind of hard to come by, so, and they like to hide a lot. I also thought about doing cichlids just because of all the rock placement. It would give them lots and lots of places to hide. The sump is doing really well. We did change out some things. We added more filtration and more media, and then we also added some bio balls over on this side, which we actually, when we kickstarted the pond here, we actually used some of the bio balls to kickstart one of the canister filters. We have, however, had some issues with the misting system. Now, I don't know if this is just poor quality buckets, because it hasn't been the Mist King. No. It's been the bucket. And it hasn't even been where we've drilled the bucket to supply water to feed the plants. It's actually been the bottom of the bucket. We've gone through 2 or 3 buckets now. For granted, I don't know if it was the buckets just being old or used or someone stepped on them or what. But this is my second brand new bucket. I mean, straight from the store. And they get a crack about that long on the very bottom in the direct center. And I don't know why it's doing it, but it's actually shorted out 2 of our control panels. We now have it up higher. But before, you know, when we were setting this up, we had it down low because we didn't know where we were going to put it. And yeah, shorted out 2 control panels because of the bucket. So that was one of the main issues. Again, this is a paludarium that was supplied to us by Custom Aquarium. So if you are needing a custom tank, then make sure to check them out. They're absolutely amazing guys, and they will definitely take care of you. I still don't know what I want to put as far as reptiles or maybe amphibians. I've thought about doing some tree frogs or something like that, but the background that we built in here is holding up very, very nicely. It's doing very well. I haven't had any issues of breakage or anything like that. I actually take that back. The upper part of the background is doing good. The lower part down here, for whatever reason, separated. And there's a little gap now, which when we feed the gar, the fish like to go and hide behind the foam. So it gets tricky. Another thing that we did change, stab my hand. Something else that we changed, and you can't see it because it's behind all the bromeliads, is the drainage. So one of the big things was we didn't know what type of fish we were going to put in here, and so I wanted to make sure that nothing got sucked down into the plumbing. I've had that issues with sumps before where, you know, the hole is this big and then you have fish that end up down in your sump. So originally I was just putting enough foam in the background to kind of allow a little bit of flow, but we were still having issues, and so we ended up putting black screen mesh in front of it, and that seemed to do the trick. It holds off enough flow, so the current in here isn't terribly strong. I do want to still put a light down here, that way we can kind of see under the water and maybe do like an underwater video or something like that. Tell us what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, other than that, we did switch out a lot of the single misting heads with these quad heads. You can get these quad heads off of Amazon if you're looking for them. But yeah, absolutely amazing. Couldn't be happier with how much it's grown and thriving. And overall, I mean, very minimal issues when it comes to this paludarium. So with that being said, guys, tell us what you guys think in the comments below. Does it hold up to the standards? Do you think it's doing really well? What do you think that we should put in it? And what do you think we should do with it next? Because I love seeing, man, I miss the water dragon. We actually took out a couple of plants right here because they got too big and they were killing everything. But I really want to put something else in here. I love seeing the water dragon zip around all the plants and move around, so that was absolutely amazing. But he's no longer with us. I think I'm going to look at getting an Australian water dragon. I know they are very hard to come by, but yeah, who knows? We'll see. But yeah, very, very happy with how this tank has come over the last year, and I couldn't be happier. Also, thank you to all the new subscribers. If you are tuning in for the first time, please consider subscribing, as well as hitting that like and notification bell to stay up to date with all of our upcoming videos. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.